Good evening to all. Welcome to IEDA National Level 1 Week Faculty Development Program on Positive Aspects of Teaching Practices. Today's session focuses on AI-enabled teaching skills. Chief Guest Introduction. It's my great honor and privilege to introduce our esteemed Chief Guest, Dr. Shruti Gulati. She is a renowned academician, researcher, and a trainer with more than 8 years of teaching experience and research experience at the prestigious University of Delhi. Dr. Shruti Gulati completed her PhD in Commerce Marketing from the Department of Commerce, Delhi School of Economics. She pursued post-graduation from the University of Delhi. As a scholarship holder, completed her graduation from Lady Sri Ram College, where she was recognized as an all-rounder and received the prestigious LRS College Colors Award. She has published more than 25 research papers in reputed international journals indexed in Scopus, ABDC, Web of Science, and UGC Care. Her research paper on vaccine tourism is the first global paper on the subject. Has been included United Nations, World Health Organization, Global Literature on COVID-19. She has also received several paper awards for her scholarly contribution. Dr. Shruti has authored numerous chapters for MBA and BMS academic books published by University of Delhi and Taxman. She has delivered a keynote address, expert talks, workshop at reputed institutions in India and abroad, including the University of Mumbai, Jawaharlal Nehru University, Turkey, Muscat, Indonesia, and many more. She is deeply committed to promoting quality research as the mentor to over 2,000 faculty members, PhD scholars, and students on research methodology and paper writing, literature review, theoretical framework, advanced data analytics tools such as SPSS, Smart PLS, Zerito, WASBeaver. She is also a certified ethical AI educator. Today we are truly honored and inspiring the personality among us today. I'm so happy to introduce you, ma'am. So you done a lot of things in your academic career. We are happy to introduce you, ma'am. Thanks for being with us today. I hand over the session to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Usha Rani, for a very warm welcome. And I'm happy to be here with all of you today. And as a certified ethical AI educator, it is my immense pleasure to educate you all on how we can use AI tools for teaching in the most ethical manner today. So I'm going to be keeping it a mixture of how AI is revolutionizing teaching space and how best and ethically can we use that for our teaching journey as teachers, as professors, and even, of course, as researchers. So I'm going to be taking you through that. And of course, we'll be having a couple of hands-on exercises as well, so that you can understand the use case of these tools for today. So if everyone is here, may I begin the session, ma'am? Okay. So just give me a minute. I'll just share my screen. So I believe you can see my screen. I'll just, yeah. So I warmly welcome you all to the National Level 1 Week FDP on positive aspects of teaching practices. And as I mentioned, my today's session is going to be on AI-enabled teaching skills. And I'm going to begin with it now. So, of course, AI has revolutionized how teaching works now. And there are a lot of changes in how we plan our lessons, how we come up with questions, how we define concepts and everything. And like I mentioned, I'm going to be taking you to my top 5 most tools that help us in planning our lessons and helping us in how we walk through our whole teaching journey better. So just a brief introduction about me, which I'm going to skip because ma'am has given a very detailed introduction about me already. So I'm going to touch on the basic agenda for today, which is AI for teaching skills. So the basic question that everybody faces while using AI for their teaching or for research is that they're always slightly confused, borderline guilty, trying to understand, is it even ethical to use AI in teaching and research? I'm sure all of us have had this confusion and feeling very overwhelmed about the new technology and wondering if we're doing the right thing or not. I'm sure all of us have been in that situation. So to answer your question, is it ethical to use AI in teaching and research? The answer to it is yes, if used responsibly. So of course, blindly using AI is not something as teachers we will of course promote. And there are certain things that quantify what responsible usage comes to. So for that, UNESCO has come up with guidance for generative AI in education and research, where they've defined the 5 pillars that help us in understanding how we can use AI in education as teachers and as professors, but in the most ethical way. So I'm just going to be taking you to them very briefly. So the first thing that we have to keep in mind when we are using AI for our teaching purposes is the fact that people and not tools are responsible for what is taught, graded, or published. So that means even if I am using AI, later on, if there is some fallacy, there is some fact that has been missed around, or maybe I'm just automating my work to AI. And if there is some blunder happens, I cannot put it on ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, whatever. It is me, I am the teacher. It is wholly and solely my responsibility. As much as I am allowed to use AI, I cannot blindly rely on it. So at the end of the day, there has to be a human responsibility, because as teachers, it's our responsibility to educate our students, and it is not of, and so we have to use our human intelligence and take human responsibility of the same thing. So as long as you're using it, but at the same time very involved in it, maintaining a human agency, of course, AI is here to help us. We can definitely use that. The second thing is to be absolutely transparent about using AI and to check with your institution if at all it is being allowed. So if your institution has very strict guidelines which discourages you from using AI in any form, be it as teachers or even in assignments that you give to your students, then there's a big possibility that you should avoid it. But if your institution is silent or neutral about it, it's always good to be transparent and disclose if at all you're using AI for your teaching practices. Then the third thing, which is very, very important, we see all the time in today's day and age, AI has posed a very major threat to integrity and utmostly to academic integrity, because a lot of people are using AI as shortcuts, and there's a lot of wrongdoings that is happening, like there's fabricated data, there is plagiarism, people are passing off AI generated work as their own. That is something that of course is not ethical. So you still have to maintain integrity along with using AI for any part of your teaching, right? Then another thing, this is something that is coming from a place of not having the adequate amount of AI literacy. People in today's time, not just for teaching, are uploading any and everything to AI without realizing the repercussions that come along with that. At the end of the day, we have no idea how AI is storing our data. So anything that is of sensitive nature, be it on a personal level or an institutional level, we should not be putting that blindly to AI, because we don't know where it is going. And as you guys must be going through the terms and conditions when you install any AI app, they do specify how this data can be used for training purposes. So we definitely don't know if our data is going to be the one or all the data is going to be there saved. So you have to be slightly cautious about any sort of sensitive content relating to your institutions. And of course, people have this really bad habit of uploading student assignments and everything. So no, privacy and security are a major issue. that you have to keep in mind when using AI for teaching. And then lastly, if at all, as teachers, a lot of foreign universities, of course, have become open to allowing students to use AI for their assignments. So, I mean, if at all, as a teacher, you are allowing any sort of use of AI for students to probably answer questions or to plan their assignments, etc., you have to make sure the best way to go about it is to make sure that everybody is allowed. You can't allow a small section, and to also ensure that all the students have access to it. So if we keep in place these 5 pillars of human responsibility: transparency, integrity, privacy and security, and fairness and access, we are good to use AI. It is not our enemy, it is something that can help us. Now, let's see what are the AI tools that we can use for our teaching skills, and how do they help us, and how can we make the best out of it. Of course, my idea for today is, because I understand that not everyone is willing to spend for high subscriptions, so I have tried to focus on tools that are freely available so that all of us can have a hands-on experience on them. So the first tool that I have to introduce to you for teaching through AI is Perplexity, and it's a very proud moment for the fact that Perplexity is very Indian AI for us. I mean, and the fact that it has superseded the giant, which is Chat GPT. Perplexity is very, very good for the fact that it has a very superior fact-finding mechanism, because it accesses the live web. So whatever information that you're gathering through Perplexity, it is basically acting like a web scraper. So the chances of any sort of hallucination, I am sure you guys have heard about this term called hallucination. So a lot of problem that emerges with using AI, especially for us as teachers, is the fact that we are not very sure where the information is coming from. And AI by nature has a habit of creating fudge data, fudge citation. So that is usually called hallucination. So now, of course, that is a major threat to our genuineness of the facts that we are trying to look for. It very commonly seen in other interactive AIs, especially ChatGPT. So to counter that, there is Perplexity, which I mentioned is a superior fact-finding mechanism, which works on a web scraping mechanism. So real-time data from annual reports, from web sources, from newspaper articles, industry analysis, all of that can be fetched. So how is it good for us as teachers? Because at least we know where the information is coming from. And in that case, we can use Perplexity to minimize our human, clerical work to look for sources, because we can design a prompt in a manner which can look for everything for us within seconds, and we being slightly sure that this is not hallucination, it's real-time data. So using Perplexity can be done for us as teachers is to look for any fresh topics of discussions. Now, for example, if I want to scan for any recent Indian business dilemmas that haven't been written about yet, let's say, because I'm from the commerce and business domain, so let's say I had to discuss about what are the ongoing business dilemmas with my classroom. So of course I can look for the newer things that are coming in. So it's going to look through the web for everything, starting from newspaper articles to business reports to everything, and it's going to give me fresh ideas and perspectives if I want to do something like a GD in my class, a group discussion. The second thing is that, let's say that I want to develop a case study. So I'm sure you guys have heard about case study method of teaching. As teachers, we sometimes make use of external cases to explain ideas for students to understand better. It also helps us to basically develop the analytical skills of the students, so that they're just not reading plain textbooks, but to rather start applying concepts and to answer questions. So if at all I have to use Perplexity for my case-based teaching, I can use it to gather data for me. So it can get financial data, it can get market share tables, whatever the consumers are saying, and all of that. The good part is, because I know it is coming from a legitimate source, I can include it as a part of my exhibit in the end of the case. So usually when talking about case-based teaching, there are 6 W's that we have to keep in mind, which is when, where, who, what, why, and how. So case-based teaching is a very, very technical, yet a very interesting way of involving the class into our discussion. So if I were to use Perplexity for developing a case, for any AI for that matter, writing the right prompt is the most important thing, because AI is more like a servant. Pardon me for my language, but that's how we as users usually consider it. It's usually a helping hand. A servant may sound a little rude, but that's what the founders themselves quantify AI as. So the idea is for us to give the best possible prompt for it to deliver us the best possible output. So if as a MBA professor, or any, let's say even a business, graduate professor, if I were to actually develop a case study using Perplexity, my idea would be to make as detailed prompt as possible. Now, this of course is the idea irrespective of Perplexity. If you're using any other AI platform, maybe like Gemini or Chat GPT or any other for that matter, writing the right prompt is very, very important. Now, I'm just going to decode to you how you can write the best prompt. So once, when I usually, what I do and what the usual norm is to tell your AI to act in a certain manner so that you activate its thinking from a particular perspective. So the first line of prompt, as you can see, I have mentioned act as a business researcher. Why? Because we are writing a case for the MBA audience. So I want my AI to start thinking from that point of view. You could have alternatively also mentioned act as a MBA professor. That is one and the same thing. Business researcher, because research of course requires more depth of things, so that is interchangeable. You could have also written professor at the same time, and then you specify what you're doing. You're saying I'm writing a teaching case for an Indian MBA audience about the sustainability of 10-minute delivery model in India. So this is just a hypothetical example that I've taken, which I believe most of you guys are familiarized with: Blinkit, Zepto, Swiggy, etc. So let's say I had to write a case study for the Indian MBA students about the 10-minute delivery model and how sustainable that is. Now I am telling my AI what all I'm requiring out of the case. So one thing what people forget when they're using AI for teaching is that they'll write one single line prompt. Develop a case study for, they'll just mention develop a case study for 10-minute delivery model. Now that is the problem, because it will create a generic kind of case. Now, of course, if you want to save your time and have a great output, you will have to put slight more effort in putting a detailed prompt so that you don't have to make any alterations at a later level. So I have already instructed my AI to think as a business researcher. I've also explained that what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a teaching case. Who's my audience? I've told that it's an Indian MBA audience. And I've even described what my topic is, which is sustainability of the 10-minute delivery model. Now, I'm also instructing it what exactly am I requiring out of the report. So I have mentioned that I want the current market share of Blinkit, Zepto, and Swiggy as of 2025. So of course, I've made it very clear that I want to create a recent case. Then I also mentioned that what is it that I want my students to start thinking from that case. So I want to think about the logistical challenges in tier 1 cities, like fuel costs, labor regulations, etc. Then, because I want to make my students indulge in a discussion and to activate their critical thinking, so I have also mentioned that include at least 3 real world dilemmas that these companies have faced recently. I've also given an example like delivery partner strikes or dark store profitability, etc. So however much you want to guide your AI, the better and the more exact response you will receive, right? And then I've also mentioned that search for quotes from their CEOs regarding profitability versus expansion. And the most important thing I've said, please cite all sources with links, because I just mentioned to you that AI has a huge problem of hallucination where you're not sure if wherever you're getting your data for, is that a real source or is it a fudged up source, right? So I've said that please also cite all the sources with links so that I can use them as exhibits. Now I'm going to take you to Perplexity in real time and let's see how good a job Perplexity actually does in generating a case. So I'm just going to copy my prompt so that we can check in real time if Perplexity can make a good case for me. right? So this is the whole prompt that I mentioned. The good part is that in Perplexity, you have various models. So by default, it's the one that works on depending on how your prompt is. You can choose if you want to go for a more detailed one, you can choose different GPT 5.4, which is the recent one. You can use slots on it and all. And here at the same time, there's a plus side. If you were to upload any image or file or something like that, at the same time, if you want a very detailed report, you could have opted for deep research. But this, of course, takes about 10 to 15 minutes. So I might as well go to the usual settings. And a lot of these functions, I have the pro version of it. So I believe many of you may not even have it. So we'll stick to the basic free version, and yet you will realize it does a very good job, and that also in few seconds. So we've just put the command, and you can see that within seconds, the case is being prepared, and it's telling you that 3 steps have been completed. So there's the case study research brief on sustainability of India's 10-minute delivery model focused on Blinkit, Zepto, and Swiggy. The headline is that Blinkit appears to lead the market with roughly half of quick commerce share by late 2025 to 2026. And where is this coming from? So a very good thing about, like I told you about Perplexity, is that alongside you see the sources. So where is this coming from? It's coming from these 3 sources. So this is 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and 3 of 3. Of course, the good way is not to, I mean, even as teachers, we should not just copy and paste it. Of course, if I were actually using this case, I would have ideally gone and clicked on the link just to see where it's coming from. So like I said, I can use AI to help me, but I cannot blindly rely on it, right? So there's this full report of different quick commerce and graphs and everything. So of course, it's saving a lot of research time for me, but I will still go back to the original source and verify all of these things. Then there's a full table that has come up with. Then we'd ask for a logistical issue, that's also here. Then we'd ask for the real world dilemmas for the businesses. So there are different dilemmas that have come up. And then I even asked for the quotes that CEOs are asking for. Then it's even going to guide me that for your teaching case, the core dilemma is whether 10-minute delivery is a durable operating model or a subsidy heavy growth phase that will eventually converge towards more conventional grocery economies. Then I'd ask for all the links. So all the links together are given to me. So there are about 10 of them. I can just shuffle through them and have a look. Then, of course, the good part about these AIs are that they are conversational in nature. So I can still ask them that develop, let's say, 3 discussion questions that I can ask in the end of this case study for my students, right? So it's also going to generate the 3 questions that we can ask the students to apply their critical thinking skills and to indulge in a full discussion with each other as to what should be done in regard to the case. So that way, Perplexity is great for anyone who wants to talk about case-based teaching. Very, very good for the fact that you have real-time links for cross-checking your sources. So that was the first AI tool and freely available to everyone. Then another very favorite, I am sure many of you may have heard about Perplexity, but very few people have heard about this particular amazing AI. It's called Storm, and they even call it Genie because they think that it is magical. And the fact that it is from Stanford University, of course, makes it very, very legitimate and user friendly. So I'm not sure if any of you have heard about this, you can message me in the chat box just for me to have a look at it later on. So Storm Genie is a great platform that allows you to create Wikipedia-like pages. So what happens is that as teachers, we have a habit of breaking down concepts, right? Of course, we have to begin with the basics, and then we go to the intermediate, and then of course we go towards the detailed part of concepts. So sometimes when we are planning things, it becomes difficult for us to break these into concepts. So there is this particular, I mean, this is one of a kind because I'm sure Perplexity does have counterparts like Copilot and like Gemini and Chat GPT, etc. But this is one of a kind because it will create a Wikipedia-like page for anything that you want to talk about. So I will take you here. Again, this is also freely available. It's in its beta version right now. So you can, of course, if you want towards the end of the session, I can drop these links in the chat box for you all. So let's say, I mean, I want to talk about any basic thing. Let's say there used to be a very basic law of diminishing marginal utility, or if anyone has any suggestions, I can take them up from the chat box as well. Diminishing marginal utility, a very basic economics law that we studied in 11th class, and it goes on till like school and like graduation and post graduation. The what we call the law of marginal utility. So I've just written that. The good part about this AI is that again, it is going to look through Google. So why AI is a better option than Google? Because Google may we have to manually open 10, 15 tabs and then come to a conclusion. These AIs are basically going to look for from Google and do the job for you. So let's say I'm writing law of diminishing marginal utility. I'm just going to press start, and you'll be amazed to see the kind of output that we have. So it's asking me a writing purpose to understand law of diminishing marginal utility. This is again just a basic query that they ask for their reference to understand what people are using it for. So you see that they are making use of so many links and good links. So there is Science Direct, which is I'm sure you know that Science Direct is a major publishing site by Elsevier. Then you have YouTube videos explaining that. Then you have like Quora and YouTube, of course, a mix of everything. A lot of research papers, LinkedIn articles, everything is going to come together. And within seconds, it takes about 3 minutes. That is what they say. So within seconds, they will come up with a Wikipedia-like page, which is great for us to understand the different aspects of any concept. And of course, I'm from the business and management field, so you might find a lot of examples. But even if you're from the science, law, or I mean medical, any field for that matter, all of these AI can work for all sort of content. So we'll just wait for a few minutes. If you want to know the brainstorming process, you can click here and it will tell you what all it is we're doing. So it's even telling you what is behind the window, right? And you can even understand. So, like, of course, this law is used across various fields. So it's even telling you what a historical economist says about it, what an economist theorist says about it, what a basic fact writer would have written about it, what a behavioral economist would have written about it. So combining all of that, and yet, of course, it's going to take a few seconds to generate the report. So we'll wait for it. It's at the last step. It says step 4 of 4. taking a lot of time. Still taking a lot of time. So what we can do is that I can show you the next AI tool, and maybe we can come back to it later when it's generated, because it is taking a lot of time. Maybe the traffic is a lot. So I'll take you to the next one. The other one is called GPT-0. I'm sure that you've heard about a similar AI that's also called Zero GPT. So now there are two different of them. I'm particularly talking about GPT-0, which is more advanced in its functionalities. So again, it works on a freemium model. So that means it has a combination of a free and a premium functionality. It's a great tool where you're trying to understand, if let's say that, of course, it's not a good idea to upload your students full assignment, but let's say that you had sort of suspicion that some parts of them are AI generated. So you can copy a few of them just to understand if there is AI actually being used. So meanwhile, let's see, it's still taking time. So the good part about GPT-0 is that it has various resources that are specially for educators. So if any one of you wants to have a look, so they have AI detector for teachers and educators. So within the same website, you will come across many of them. And they have a few informational webinars as well. And if you were to probably use it for free, I of course have a premium account for them because I'm a certified educator. So, but usually in free accounts as well, you can work through their free features. So let's say that if I actually wanted to understand if the text was written by an AI or human, let's do an exercise. So I have, let's say, written this text on artificial intelligence role on the Indian education sector, where I've written that artificial intelligence has been a major setback for Indian education system as it's causing heightened cases of cheating and scrupulous activities among students. This is affecting the teaching learning process in India. There should be proper AI policy for teachers, students, and researchers. So this is something that this is something that I have myself written. So I'm just going to copy this, right? And along with this, I'm just going to paste it here. Along with this, when I had Googled this up, this is the AI text that had generated, which is AI in education personalized learning by adapting to new individual, etc. This is the AI text, right? Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to paste both of them in continuation, and let's see if it can detect what was written by me and what was AI generated. Okay. Okay. So it's saying it's a mixed one. 34% is actually, it's an AI human mix, which is true because some parts of it were written by me and some parts of it were copied by AI. So it's telling me that 34% matlab is AI and 66% is human, right? Now I will tell them that tell me the AI sentences. So you see, this green part is what I had written myself, is what I told you. So it is so bang on and accurate that these sentences were written by me and it has been flagged as human content, right? And the other part of it, which I had taken from Google search, the AI mode, which was Gemini, and this has been flagged as AI. So anytime if as teachers we sort of feel that a particular paragraph, of course it's highly unethical to upload the full PDF document or Word document of a student, but let's say that there are parts that are suspicious, we feel that they are not human written, they are AI generated, I can just bits and pieces copy paste it for wherever I have the doubt. If, of course, I allow usage of AI in my assignment, that's another thing. But in most Indian colleges, at least, it's not allowed. So, of course, for us to cross-check data, it is great and it is very, very accurate, where you can see that it is clearly telling me the parts that were written by me and the parts that were written by AI. It's also great for anyone who wants to improve their writing. So GPT-0 has a lot of options where you can upload multiple files, and within that it will do some job for you, which is hallucination check, which is basically to understand if they were legitimate sources or they were, of course, fudged up sources. For any AI usage, of course, you can make use of that for plagiarism as well. And then, of course, it does have some models that you can create yourself as well as to what you are looking for. So you can drag and drop your files here and it will do the check for you. It works on a freemium model. Like I mentioned, some functionalities are available to people for free. And then of course, some of them you might have to pay for it. So you can play around with the software, and for whatever free functionalities you can use, it's a limited usage per month. And once you have obviously finished that, then you will, the new month, it will renew new credits for you, right? So I'm working on a premium model for this. So of course, like I mentioned, great place for anyone who's looking for. So it'll ask you if you're an educator or not, because like I mentioned, they have various functionalities for educators, and you can just see whichever ones you want to use. It can even help you improvise your grammar and spellings and all. As teachers, we of course have to write formalized mails, we have to come up with formal documents, etc. So if I want to improvise my language, so I can of course make use of this tool for improvising my own work as well, right? So this was GPT-0. Let's see if, oh my god, it's taken so long. Let me try another, any basic topic. Okay. Demand and supply. Let me try that. Okay, they are giving some. Yeah, let me just choose any of them that they have. Maybe it'll work faster. Yeah. So microeconomics, supply and demand, capitalism, perfect competition, limits. So these are all concepts of microeconomics, as you know. So within seconds, there is a Wikipedia-like page. So you see there is a summary of whatever you're asking. So these are the fundamentals of microeconomics, of course. So within that, if you remember, on Wikipedia, you can just go to any of the page and the headings are in like blue. And the good part is that this will also provide you with the same sources like Wikipedia does. So whatever the line has been written, you know exactly where it is coming from, and you can always go and cross check, and it will not just tell you the source, it will even tell you the highlight of what that source is. So of course, if I see that the source is maybe just somebody's personal LinkedIn post, I might be slightly confused if I should take that or not, right? But of course, if it is coming from a textbook or if it's coming from a research paper or whatever, I know that it's coming from a legitimate source. So you can see whatever, there were multiple topics that were mentioned: supply, demand, capitalism, perfect competition, etc. So whichever one that you want, you can just toggle here. I will keep on showing you just like a Wikipedia page, right? And if at all you want, you can even export it in a PDF. So you just have to click the PDF here, and a perfect report will be here for you. Let's say I download this, and let's see how it looks. So you have this full, they have obviously cited themselves as well. This is a Stanford AI. So it begins with a summary and then it goes on through different headings. Great for us as teachers who are planning any detailed topic where we want to begin from basics to advanced. So you can just even when you download the report, the good part is that the links are still intact. If I click on it, I know where the whole thing is coming from, right? So you can download this as a PDF, or maybe you can use it to create your own lesson plans, and accordingly it will in the end also provide you all the references that you use. So great for anyone talking about very detailed concept. Like I said, we can even work on any scientific or medical oriented concepts as well. So anything it'll work on. It'll create a Wikipedia like whole summary for that. So that was another tool. Then, of course, from the house of Google, this is another free, yet I would say amongst the all most powerful for us as teachers. It's called Notebook LM. I'm sure that you guys have heard about it. This is great for anyone who's trying to use a one-stop place for designing your lectures and converting it into various interactive means, which I'll show you how. And the good part is that you can upload PDFs, Google Docs, slides, etc. And you can just straight away make use of it in one place. So let me just take you here. Oh, I don't have a link of it or what? So if you have a Google account, which I believe all of you have because you logged into Google Meet, so you just log in here and Notebook LM will open up, and all you have to do is you have to go and create new. So a new notebook will come up. So now obviously, once you open a new notebook, it will ask you that what are the sources that you want me to have a look at, right? So good part of things is you can attach it to your drive, you can copy paste a text, you can provide with web links like a YouTube link or any blog post or anything for that matter, or of course upload files. So let me assume that I want to upload a file. So I had downloaded this whole PDF on NEP 2020 because I thought that was a neutral topic that all of us know about. So I'm just uploading this document, which is the official document of NEP 2020, right? I'll even show you till it's getting uploaded of what exactly is it about so that you know what kind of output would come. So this is the official document of NEP 2020 from the MHRD, Government of India, about introducing what NEP 2020 was and how it should be implemented and everything. It's a 66-page document, which I believe most of you must have sometime or the other read about it or at least heard about it. So it is introducing the NEP 2020. So let's say that I had to teach this in class. How would I actually do that? So I can make use of Notebook LM and I can upload. Of course, the good part is that you can upload multiple PDFs also. So let's say that you were actually creating, I've taken a neutral topic though, but let's say that you were teaching a new concept of, let's say, marketing or anything for that matter, or chemistry. And there are 2-3 books that you refer to. So you can upload multiple PDFs also. It will work like that as well. So once I upload it, of course, it's just giving a brief summary of what this is. Now I can play around with this and do multiple things. So there are a series of prompts that I have. So if I had to basically use Notebook LM, it's actually LLM, but they call it LM, to basically help me plan my lesson. So if I want that I understand how my lesson plan should be made or how I should come up with teaching notes. So this is a 66-page document, right? So if I had to teach my students about what is NEP 2020 on the basis of this official document that has been provided to me by the government, what I can do is that I can tell Notebook LM that based on this document, generate a teaching note for professor teaching this. Include 3 discussion questions. The core theoretical takeaway and a timeline on how 60-minute class discussion should flow. So if I were to introduce this for the first time for a 60-minute lecture, I will just tell Notebook LM that help me plan my lesson, create a teaching note or something. It will take a few seconds and it will come up with an output. The good part about this particular AI tool, especially for teachers, is that in other places we saw that the data was fetched from the web, right? So if you remember, I told you Perplexity is like a web scraper. It will scrape the whole of internet, right? On the other hand, basically the Storm, the Genie one, so this looks at only Google. Here, of course, AI, this GPT-0, you can upload your own thing, but it is going to just improvise on your work. But here, for us as teachers, because we have ebooks and all sorts of, even for that matter, sometimes we have a code structure that is given to us that, 10 credits would go for this, 20 would go this, we have to plan a practical exam or whatever. So I can even upload that for Notebook LM to tell me that keeping in mind the guidelines, how I should go ahead with planning my lecture. Like I can tell it to plan for the whole of semester for me. I can tell it to plan for a particular section of lectures only or a tutorial or examinations or whatever. And the good part is that where it's going to come up with is actually my uploads. So it's not going to look for the internet. It is only and only going to understand from what I upload, which is great for us because I know what I want to have a look at. So here my problem of cross-checking if the source is legitimate or not is eliminated because I have uploaded that PDF, and within that PDF, it is going to help me plan whatever I'm asking it for. So now I asked it for a teaching note. So it's saying the NEP 2020 India's vision for modern education. So it will even tell you, it will still give you a source, but the source will be from within the PDF where it is coming from. It has the whole PDF with it, right? So whatever it is saying in that also it will tell you कि इसको कहाँ से दिखा, right? So I had asked him to give me 3 discussion questions. So it's given me 3 questions like pedagogical restructuring. So of course we know that the 10 plus 2 has been replaced with the 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So it's telling me one discussion could be around that. The second could be the multidisciplinary mandate, which is that the HEIs of India aim to become large multidisciplinary universities by 2040. So the credit part of things and how it will work. And then lastly, it is about the systematic inequities that can basically come up from this NEP, right? And it's telling me that how I should plan my lecture, 0 to 10 minutes. I should just give them an introduction and vision of NEP 2020. It's even telling me what the flow should be. Then the remaining from 10 minutes to 25 minutes, it's telling me that I need to talk to them about the major structural and curricular changes in K-12 education. Then the next 15 minutes, it will be analyzing the restructuring of universities and the push for flexibilities. Then the next 10 minutes, which is equity, teachers and governance. And then lastly, how I should wrap up my session as well. So you can see that it's even telling you that you have to summarize the discussion and look for the future. So any and everything that I want to plan about my lesson, it doesn't end here. It's very interesting how you can guide it further. So let's say that I want to actually make students think about 5 open-ended questions, right? So I will follow it up by saying that give me 5 open-ended question discussions that will make my students think critically about the main themes in this reading. Avoid simple yes or no question. Like I said, the better my prompt is, the better the answer is because it doesn't know if you're looking at a yes or no question or a detailed question. So I've already told them that don't give me yes or no question, give me proper detailed questions on which critical thinking can work through. So it's going to go through the content and now come up with 5 open-ended questions that if I were to discuss with my students, what I can make use of. So it's going to take a few minutes. And also the good part about this tool is that you have on the right side that you see there is something called a studio. So if I had to actually create a slide show of the data that is given to me, the 66 PDF pages that we have uploaded, I can just choose on slide deck as well. So meanwhile this is working, we can start working on that as well. So that, because it will also take a few seconds to generate that. Once it's ready, it will show me in the bottom right here. So it's taking a few minutes, and alongside it's also and there are various functionalities that are available. Like if I had to generate a mind map, it will even do that for me. If I had to generate quiz out of it, it will do that for me as well. All I have to do is just tap on them, and as this is rotating, we know that it is being worked on. So I think it says 1 minute ago. So of course the mind map has been generated. So it has created a mind map which is on NEP 2020, and then you can elaborate on the concept. It says what are the visions that India plans to be a global knowledge superpower, equitable and vibrant knowledge society, this and that. Then how is it impacting school education? Then restructuring, maybe what restructuring, right? Great. If I had to teach this in class, I can just download these detailed mind maps and discuss everything in more depth, right? So you can continue to open these mind maps. If you want to download these, let's say I want to open all of them so that I have all the things with me in place. So this is a very detailed mind map, as you can see, that has been generated. I can download it here. It will get downloaded as an image, which I can use in my PPT, or I can show it in my class, or maybe I can just, so you see all the detailed openings of the mind map are here. So it's doing that. Then I can go back, when I press these two arrows, it will take me back to the studio. So meanwhile, it has also developed a quiz for me. So it has asked 12 questions, and with questions, it's even given hints. All right. So there are questions that are there, which you can like make use of. Then next question, then next question. 12 questions have been generated, and it can go in a full form quiz. If there's something that you want to delete or change, you can do that as well. So a quiz automatically gets generated. So if you had to share this quiz as it is, you can share it with other people. So just like Google Thinker. Of course, the slideshow takes the maximum amount of time. It's still revolving, so we'll have to wait for that. So then it will generate a full PPT. Now the system was unable to answer. I think there was too many prompts given. So maybe we'll try another prompt, which is less detailed, because we were doing everything simultaneously. So let's say that I'm asking it to generate MCQs here also. So you can either ask in the studio part also, and you can ask here also, like as a follow-up as well. So then also, it's like a conversational AI. We'll go through it, but because there's a lot of attention going here, this part is getting slightly slowed down because the PPT takes a lot of time, and it makes beautiful PPTs with diagrams and everything. So that's why there has been a clash on the server. It's getting a little slowed down, but nonetheless, we'll wait for it. Yeah. So it has created 10 MCQs, which is almost similar to the one that we got in the quiz as well. And also, it's telling you where it has generated that MCQ from. So for you also to like go back and check for what is the right answer, and if at all you have to explain it, right? So it will give you all the sources as well. And you can even ask them, there's an answer key also for you to know. So with the answer, you know where the answer is coming from, right? So in the quiz, the only thing is that it gives you hint. Here, when you type it, it will give you the answer key with the sources. So the studio part of things is the interactive part of things. Like I told you, mind maps. It even creates flashcards, but because our PPT is not yet generated, I'm not pressing anything else to disturb. Also, a great thing that Notebook LM can convert any lesson into a podcast like thing. So once you click on audio, I'm not doing it so that our slide deck gets ready. So if you click here, it will convert all your content that you've given in a PDF form in an audio book kind of a thing, like a podcast. So great for anyone who wants to make it more interactive in the class or whatever, or for people who like hearing rather than reading. So for us also, if we are reading a new document for the first time and we don't want to read it, we probably want to listen to it, we can make use of the audio option. It will convert it into audio. Similarly, it does also do that through video. Of course, these are things that take a lot of time though. It's not going to be as quick as this, but there's an option. 1 minute. This is still generating. I wish it would have been done till now, but yes, it does take a lot of time. So you can continue to like, you could have uploaded multiple PDFs as well, and then accordingly you can still like generate all sorts of things like lesson plan and discussion questions and MCQs and what are the key issues that you should talk about. If you can even ask it to tell me interactive ways by which I can teach this PDF in class. It might take some time because, like I said, there's a lot of attention going here. But if you are slightly more patient on it, so Notebook LM is actually a great tool because the USP is the fact that it is coming from the sources that you are uploading. So it has come up with interactive ways. It's telling you how you can create a jigsaw reading and peer tutoring. So you can divide it into core themes and you can assign every theme to small groups of students. Then how you can use role playing and storytelling to teach students about it. It's even telling you ways by which you can do that. Then how you can come up with debates and policy circles to discuss everything. Then how you can create gamified polling and quizzes, right? It's telling me that I can generate a slide deck. Yeah, let's see if I tell him, please generate a 10 slide deck. Let's say, let's hope it's faster because यहाँ पर it creates a detailed one. Maybe because we've written 10, could be that it works faster. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's saying I've started generating because it was anyway generating. Now that it's started a second one, there's no point. It's going to slow down. So anyway, I mean, I've told you how you can do that. It does take a few minutes because slides will have great visuals as well, and it does a very good job. Once you try it yourself, you'll be able to figure out better. So now because we asked it the command, it's generated again. So now it's going to further reduce the speed of things. But nonetheless, it's an option that you can always explore. So you can explore all of them. If your data is something that requires infographics, etc., it even do charts and infographics for you. Yeah. So this was Notebook LM, and then there's a last one which I'm sure you guys have heard about. It's called Quillbot. Quillbot is an AI-powered writing assistant. Again, it has a lot of functionalities, plagiarism checking, grammar checking, etc. I particularly like this particular tool which is called Summarizer. It also has a freemium model. That means it has free as well as detailed paid functionalities. So wherever you want to just summarize information, let's say that this is a paragraph that I want to summarize. So I can just go to Quillbot and I can make use of their summarize feature. So I'm pasting my own content. So obviously I don't have to worry about how correct or wrong it is. I can just tell it to convert it into bullet points and it'll do that. So great for anyone who makes use of PPTs, etc. because it just converts it into bullet points. You can even give custom instructions as how you want things to go, like if you want to generate a conclusion or etc., then it'll even work like that. So Quillbot, of course, has other functionalities which are related to writing. So it can improvise on your grammar and make it, you can even change your tone of how you're writing things. So, of course, great for anyone who's trying to improvise their writing part of things, right? So, I think this is it done? I don't think it's still done. Hmm. Oh, yeah, we have one deck ready. I'm glad. At least I'll stop the other one. 1 minute. Oh. So you see how beautiful they'll come up with a PPT with the logos and everything. So within minutes, of course, having a look at your PDF, a PPT has been created with great visuals, great understanding of things, and it's just quite nice, very explanatory, very interactive, and of course maintaining the national theme. So this is the magic of Notebook LM, that it can, of course, speed up things for you, right? So you can share the PPT, you can revise it. Let's say you had to change something in this slide, it'll change this particular slide, and so accordingly you can play around with it and you can just make use of it for best ways that suit you, right? So that's it from my side. Thank you so much. You're most welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn, and I hope you enjoyed the session. I'll stop sharing. In case anyone has any queries, I will be happy to address them. Thank you. I'm glad that you guys like the session. If there are any queries or anything, most welcome to ask me. So of course, my idea was to include tools that are free because not everyone would want to spend on. Of course, these subscriptions are not cheap. So of course, you can make use of all of them on free basis. And of course, that can make our life easier, but do not forget to solely rely on it. So always make sure that you have to be ethical while using it. Make sure that you do know your content well. You know how to cross check it so that you're not blindly following it. So that's it. Thank you so much. Sure. Any queries, any feedback, most welcome to share it with me? I think there are none. So, okay then, thank you so very much, Usha ma'am, and everyone for being such a lovely audience and for this invitation. And hopefully, I'll see you guys very soon somewhere else. So, yeah, thank you. Take care and all the best, everyone. Sure, ma'am. Sure. Thank you.